Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and buckle up because today we are diving into one of the wildest, most electrifying, most conversation starting stories buzzing throughout the entire NFL community right now. The massive, earth shaking blockbuster news that Asante Samuel Jr. has reportedly been connected to a historic trade sending him straight to the Dallas Cowboys. A move that is being hyped as one of the boldest, most aggressive defensive acquisitions in recent Cowboys memory. Now, before we get into every juicy detail, let me set the scene for you because this isn't just another trade rumor or speculative fan fantasy. This is the type of story that blends desperation, ambition, talent, risk, and legacy into one enormous flaming ball of NFL drama that Cowboys fans, Chargers fans, Steelers fans, and honestly, anyone who follows the league can't stop talking about. Imagine the Cowboys, a team constantly under the largest spotlight in American football, already under pressure to win now, already criticized for inconsistencies, already dealing with the weight of expectations from fans who desperately want a deep playoff run, suddenly placing a massive bet on a young, explosive cornerback with raw instincts, elite footwork, natural ball hawking DNA, and a name that brings its own legacy, Asante Samuel Jr. Just hearing the name alone gives fans memories of his father snagging picks, locking down receivers, and making game-changing plays. But this time, the story is wrapped in an entirely new layer of intensity because Samuel Jr. isn't entering this moment as a perfectly clean slate. He's entering it as a player with a complicated recent timeline involving injuries, setbacks, surgeries, questions, and now this stunning narrative about a potential resurrection with the Cowboys. And that's exactly why this whole story has exploded like wildfire across social media platforms, YouTube channels, and NFL discussion forums. People want to know what kind of deal this would be, what Dallas is thinking, whether this is genius or madness, how Samuel Jr. fits into the Cowboys defense, whether he can stay healthy, and most importantly, does this move actually position the Cowboys for something bigger, or is it just another headline-grabbing attempt at quick success? To understand why this rumor has turned into such a massive talking point, you first have to appreciate the player at the center of it, Asante Samuel Jr., a young defensive back known for impressive footwork, pure athleticism, and instinctual playmaking ability, burst into the league with energy and confidence, drawing natural comparisons to his father, who was one of the most respected ball-hawking corners of his generation. He showed potential early on, demonstrating that he could jump routes, anticipate quarterbacks, and put himself in the right position to break up passes or force turnovers. His talent was never in question, but the challenge lay in staying healthy and maintaining consistent availability. The last couple of seasons became rocky, with injuries limiting his playing time, and eventually he faced the biggest obstacle yet: surgery that sidelined him longer than anyone anticipated. But that's where the dramatic twist comes in, because the moment he was medically cleared to return to training, the league perked up. Suddenly teams were interested again. Suddenly scouts started paying attention. Suddenly analysts who had previously written him off began saying things like, if he comes back healthy, he could still be a high-impact player. And that's exactly the type of opportunity the Cowboys, as a franchise known for bold defensive swings, might gravitate toward. Now, here's where the excitement skyrockets. The Cowboys have been looking for ways to strengthen their secondary, especially after struggling with consistency in coverage, breakdowns during crucial moments, and a general need for more speed, instinct, and aggression on the outside. They've had stars emerge, but they've also suffered from depth issues, injury issues, and flat-out performance issues against elite passing offenses. Adding a player with Samuel Jr.'s potential ceiling would instantly shake up the defensive depth chart. Imagine him lined up across from some of the best receivers in the league, wearing the iconic star on his helmet, bringing speed, swagger, and the hunger to revive his career. That's exactly why so many Cowboys fans are already celebrating the idea of this move. They're imagining a reinvigorated, hungry cornerback who wants to prove the league wrong, wants to show he's still capable of being a top defensive threat, and wants to carve out his own legacy independent of his father's. And let's be honest, Dallas loves a comeback story. Dallas loves a redemption arc. Dallas loves taking a player who's been counted out by other teams and turning them into a star under the national spotlight. But let's also be fair. There's another side to this story. This wouldn't just be a low-risk move. This wouldn't just be a casual signing. The words historic trade and blockbuster deal aren't being thrown around lightly. They imply that the Cowboys are putting something significant on the table, whether it's draft capital, contract money, future flexibility, or a combination of all three. And that is exactly why some analysts are raising eyebrows, because anytime you invest heavily in a player coming off a major injury, you are essentially betting not just on the player, but on the entire medical staff, training staff, and internal confidence that the player will return to form. And the Cowboys, a team that is constantly scrutinized for every decision they make, would be opening themselves up to even more pressure if this deal takes place. But that's also what makes this story so captivating. Like, it's risky, it's bold, it's dramatic, it's Cowboys football at its finest. But more than anything, this potential move represents something bigger. The Cowboys showing the league that they are not satisfied sitting still. They are not interested in being passive. They want to take swings. They want to bring in impact players. They want to show the fans that they are not giving up on building a championship caliber defense. Imagine Samuel Jr. stepping onto the field for the first time as a Cowboy, hearing the crowd explode, feeling the weight of the moment, and channeling that into his gameplay. Imagine him making a massive pass breakup on a third down or jumping a route for a pick six, instantly silencing anyone who doubted him. That is the kind of moment Cowboys fans live for. But the part of the story fans seem most enamored with is the narrative element, the emotional arc. A young cornerback trying to revive a career, a historic franchise looking for a spark. A fan base craving defensive electrification. Like, the story writes itself like something out of a Hollywood script, and that's why people can't stop talking about it. Every detail, every rumor, every hypothetical contract structure, every potential defensive formation with Samuel Jr. in it is being dissected and blown up into massive discussions. Cowboys fans want to believe this is the missing piece, and even neutral fans are admitting that it could be one of the more interesting moves of the season. And that brings us to the final point. What this move symbolizes for the Cowboys. Whether the deal becomes official or remains an explosive rumor, the very idea of it sends a clear message. The Cowboys aren't content with simply being good. They want to be great. They want talent. They want dynamic playmakers. They want players who can swing momentum, disrupt quarterbacks, and close out games. And even though Samuel Jr. has faced adversity, even though he has gone through physical and career challenges, the Cowboys see something in him worth fighting for. They see potential. They see upside. They see a future where he could thrive. And whether this becomes